Okay. Just noticed there was a new patch. Looks like that just came out today. Let's do Empire like I like to normally do. We'll sit on the graphs and the battle report. We'll add one extra player. And it said there was like a new faction. Yeah, the Guild Master. So I kind of want to try that out and see. Let's do that so that in case we don't double up on things. Hey, let's see what the Guild Master has in this game. Guild Merchant for 45 gold. Okay, so they're another water faction. That's interesting because the only other water faction is I forget what they're called, the Lost Ones or whatever, the Cthulhu type monster creatures. Okay, so they get a variety of human. They get Zweihanders, that's cool. And Hellbrigadiers. They get ballistas as well. I think the only other one that I haven't played some of the humanoids in this game. But I think that the human faction, the Barons or whatever, get these, which are kind of like the Roman Empire of this game. Do I have the mods in? Yeah, I do, okay. Just making sure this new patch didn't get rid of my mods. So do the merchants not get... They get spellcasting? Yeah, they do, okay. Sages Guild. The Guildmaster establishes the Sage Guild in a settlement with trade value 1 or more. The Guildmaster can occasionally recruit sages. Controlling at least one Sage Guild will result in all libraries yielding 1 gold income per level of the library. Building this guild will instantly reveal all libraries in Elysium. Neat. Purger's Guild. Destroy all guilds in the current settlement, including any enemy-controlled ones. Okay, neat. Mage's Guild. This Guildmaster upgrades his Sage's Guild into a Mage's Guild. The library value of the settlement is increased by 1. Occasionally powerful wizards may be recruited. Okay, I think that the Merchant's Guild is probably just like a pure neutral human faction that just starts inside of a bay port. We got a lot of stuff near me. We got another port close by. We got a mountain spire. And I don't think other factions can spawn this close by. Did we get any Skylords this match? I can quickly just see what we're matched up against. No. But we definitely have a cloud above us because we have a spire here. How big is this army? As long as they don't have any hidden units inside of that, we can... Let's see how big our army is. We start off with a merchant... Do they get any field casting? No. Interesting. Well, if they don't get any field casting, I don't think they're worth bringing along. Then you pretty much just have the merchants chill in town. Because their dagger's gonna do, like, absolutely nothing. I'm guessing you just want to use them to set up guilds and stuff. But you don't start off producing gems So we're gonna have to trade for gems. I guess that's the idea of it. Because we start off with trade value. We don't get regular archers though, that's a big problem too. We just get crossbowmen, which require iron. So supplementing the army with the ranged is going to be difficult. Though it looks like we're probably going to have a high chance of recruiting mercenaries. Probably going to want to take this as soon as possible. We're going to lose a lot of men fighting that, especially since we don't have an innate caster. It looks like we're going to have to get our casters through setting up the guilds. I mean, this is a decently sized army. Let's get rid of these monkeys. And we'll see what we can do about scanning at the map and taking control of the area here. Okay, we lost one guy in the battle. Probably just got hit multiple times, right? Yeah, he just got hit by a mace monkey in the front there. Oops, oh, I didn't mean to move you. Oh well, let's just hope that this guy doesn't move out. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna lose some guys here. This is what happens when you play. I've been playing a lot of Age of Wonders, and they have slightly different click controls, so I've been getting really used to their way of clicking, which is using the right button to move. Like, the click controls are completely backwards in comparison to this game, so I might accidentally misclick a bunch this game because I've just gotten used to the controls of Age of Wonders 3. Did we lose anyone during that battle? Yeah, we lost a bunch of dudes. Didn't mean to do that. We're gonna need to get some... Okay, we're gonna have to rely on not using gems immediately. We're gonna have to buy some iron. Because we're gonna need to bolster up this army a bit. Once we get enough soldiers, we'll be able to take that, and that'll give us some gem and iron production. We can take this. Looks like we're in a nice little side of the Elysium. Once we control this corner, it'll be really easy to keep a defensible location and not get overwhelmed by wandering neutrals and any PC characters. We can kind of rely on these random mercenary units at some point if we can get enough money production. We can't take the defensive structure at the moment. They're wanderers. They probably will beat me up a bit if they wander into me. Looks like they're going down to take that. We got another place with iron and gem production. Unfortunately, I think this will be easier to take than this, when this is going to produce more, but dwarves are, especially these upgraded dwarves, are quite deadly, especially their ranged units. The arbalists, they're really good at puncturing. We're gonna have to deal with this at some point, because it's just gonna run around taking back our production. Okay, there's a good place. I should be able to take that, because these are just slave workers, which don't do much. And he's the only kind of deadly guy, but he shouldn't be much of an issue. Let's buy this scout. It's always good to have a stealth detector. Let's see what we got. We lost one pike. Did we lose him to... Let me just quickly view. Did the workers beat him, or did the... yeah, the slave driver, I think, just got him. Yeah. Striked once with a whip, looks like. We was able to take him out. Okay, so we got some iron and gem production, which is good. We could start stockpiling up for some for one of the guilds to be produced. Okay, we got enough iron now that we can start building some units. So what do we got? We still have a decent back line of crossbowmen, so let's get our front line filled out again. What's the difference between halberds and pikes? Halberds deal a better damage ratio. Do they have more armor? No. How about strength? No, but they have higher morale, don't they? No. Okay, so they're pretty much identical, just the halberd does 1d8 opposed to 1d5. What are Zweihanders? 1d9? They have different properties though, right? Has a sweep effect. Yeah. Let's get some Zweihanders. And then I'll double buy, purchase some Zweihanders from here as well. I guess we want to go back for them as soon as possible. Oh, you start off with a boat. I didn't even notice. That's good. Oh, I didn't even notice that this was a town. Alright, that's cool. Alright, let's grab these guys. Let's turn off the trade for iron at the moment, just so that I can start stockpiling up some gold easier, now that we have a little bit of iron production. I don't think we can take this out yet. Yeah. And I can't fight those dwarves yet, and I will probably lose some guys fighting these guys, but I'd like to just take them out so that they're not wandering around. Whoops. Why do I have to auto-select those guys? Okay. I should toggle it. Yeah, we lost 2 Zweihanders to the Knights. I'll just quickly show that off. Usually I just don't bother doing these unless it's an important battle. But for anyone's viewing pleasure who's watching, you kind of see what's going on. Let's, what was the toggle button for deactivating sentry? S? There we go. That way I won't make the mistake of accidentally moving him again. Okay, so I got another merchant. So I'm assuming that... Well, I don't need another one, but I'm assuming you need a merchant and then you need to upgrade them. to the next tier to get these guys. But you only really need to upgrade them tier-wise if you want to do like the next tier of guilds, since we're just trying to do the Sages Guild. We're going to want to establish a Sages Guild as soon as we have the money for it, or gems for it. Okay. Let's re-sentry that guy. Just scout out some of the area around the base here. Ah, interesting. Okay, this is we're definitely in the south because we got the savannah. But we must be jettisoning out of the main continent. And there's probably an indent in and then more land around here somewhere. This is going to make this area pretty fortifiable, especially since we have a nice natural defensive line with these mountains and forests. It'd be really hard for any of the AI-controlled nations that come in here. I got a little island we can sail out to. Alright, one more turn and we can afford to set up one of the guilds. I think we can also afford this turn to get some more Zweihanders. Alright, let's get this guy to make one of the guilds. So we're going to establish the Sages Guild. Yeah, that just puts a buff on it. And then what did it say the Sages Guild did? Establishing Sages Guild in a settlement increases its trade value. Oh, if it has one or more trade value, the guild can... Sage Guild results in all libraries yielding 1 gold, but this thing doesn't have a library, right? How do I check that again? Yeah, it doesn't have a library. But then I remember it saying something about revealing libraries. So we should be able to see the libraries on the map. Only 2? Jeez. Okay. Got 2 libraries. That one's pretty close by. Sometimes there's some up in the sky, so we could check that out once we climb up, I guess. Let's sentry him for now. That library is going to be hard to hold. I wish it was a little bit closer. It's also going to be hard to take, because libraries always have a decent amount of units garrisoned there, as well as having casters. And since we don't have casters of our own, because this faction doesn't look like it carries casters, I wouldn't mind getting those archers. They're out of the price range, but we're definitely going to need another leader general, so we'll grab that so that we can make a second roaming army. Oh, we're even more defensible. This looks like a port. There must be a division of the continent and like wraps around and goes this way too. Okay. Okay, this might make it a little bit easier to make a defensive line for control along this axis here. Neat. Okay. Perfect, okay. I wonder if it's just revealing libraries, or if it's... because sometimes settlements have libraries in them. So maybe it's just showing regular libraries. It's the first day of winter, right? Yeah. I just don't want to accidentally step out on the ice and then have it melt and have my whole army destroyed. Okay. How many units do I have? Too many to get in a boat. Okay. I wonder what I need to test this just for my sake. I want to get these guys in a boat and then attack this port and see if the battle plays out a little bit differently that you have the boat. We're gonna need more crossbows if we're gonna take it. We got a scout. I'm gonna get the scout and put it into this guy's army. We're gonna climb up the pillar and hope that there isn't enemies on the top of the pillar, because sometimes there is. If not, we're losing some... we're gonna be losing a general and a scout, which is a decent chunk of money and or, you know, potential ability. But let's have a look-see. Yep. What are we fighting? Yep. Rocks. Okay, let's see if there's any libraries up in the sky. It doesn't look like it, unless it didn't reveal them. Okay, well, we're not climbing up here anytime soon, because taking on 3 rocks at a time is going to be rather difficult. But there's a cloud city for our troubles once we do. Though that's going to come with its own problems. See this. I can't mouse my mouse down while I have it selected, but if you look down at the bottom when it says Cloud City, it has the little book icon, which means that there's technically a library inside of this this city, but I guess it doesn't count as a library. Just these library, oh jeez. The neutral faction turned this into a fort and produced one of their female dwarf delvas to, this is going to be a lot harder to take now. But I'm going to have to take it before this thing turns into its next stage. So, this is a lot more difficult because this thing has casting abilities, so I'm going to take a lot more casualties taking that from them. But we're going to want to deal with it soon, because we don't want her to turn into the second tiered version, as well as now that she's this, I think the neutral faction starts producing random scouting parties that go around and start disrupting my economy. So I didn't know that was going to happen. Okay, we lost 2 dudes, which is annoying, but we gained some information, which is nice. At least we know that potentially nothing's gonna come down from up there. So what we're gonna do is gear up to... I want to test the boat, but I don't think it's gonna do anything. Maybe I won't test it this time. I don't think it changes how the combat works with the attacking it, because I think the boat just sits here. But you still siege from over here. I'm just thinking if you could somehow get on the boat and then come around so that you don't have to go through the front gate. But I don't think it's going to really change how the combat works at all. Because I know if you have aquatic units, they will They will move to go around and go through the water and come in from behind, but that's fine. Let's get some more crossbows. How much are the ballistas? They're like really heavy on... They're like the same price as catapults, except you get 2 of them. Boulder, one to... Yeah, no, this is siege. Right. So they do a little less burst damage. For also being able to use them in regular combat. Because these things can only be used in sieges? Yeah, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I think catapults can be used in regular battles out on the plain. You have to actually attack a, either be in a settlement or attacking a settlement that has the, that little, if you look down below when it says Guard Tower Earth Fort, there's the shield, and then there's that little, like, catapult looking thing. If that icon is available, then on a settlement, then siege equipment are using their siege mode if they're guarding it or attacking it. Okay, we're gonna move. Yeah, we'll lose some dudes, but we'll take this. Be a big chunk of money, as well as a little bit of trade. Mainly, we just want to take this for the gold. Heroes are actually definitely worth buying as this faction. Oh, we only lost 1 dude. Okay, let's watch the battle. I'm guessing because I have some pikes, they're able to attack over the walls. Because they technically have reach. Okay, we lost 1 guy there. I think that we only did lose 1 guy. I guess our crossbows just ripped them apart. Oh, that's cool. Looks like their pikemen weren't able to do it. I think sway handers have a higher initiation chance than pikes from the looks of it. So it looks like they swung first. No, we only lost the 1 dude that got shot by a crossbow. Okay, do we have the gold for the hero? No, we don't. Heroes are one of those weird ones where you have to think about it, whether you want to spend that much money. But heroes usually always come with an item, which for their gold cost, since most items usually are around 100 gold, it's not too bad price wise, and then you get an additional unit that you can like scout the map with or whatever if you're just playing a normal faction. But the human factions, if you don't have good generals, which this faction seems to have, the heroes would actually be a decent purchase, because the heroes are going to be better than these captains when they have a shield. And it looks like they also have more HP. Yeah, they have a little bit more HP. They have 2 broadswords. Are they considered dual wielding? I guess they're dual wielding with a shield. I don't know how that makes sense. Because if they have two different weapon on the weapon table. I think that means that they're dual wielding. Okay, that's cool. Let's take out... We're going to want to take these guys out. Big problem is that they're rather resilient to everything but slashing from the looks of it. Well, I do have Zweihanders, so that will be good against them. Big problem is we're going to be losing a lot of units to their little spit thing that they have. And I believe when you smack them, they split apart. Yeah, we're going to definitely lose some dudes fighting them. It might be worth not taking this for a while then, and just waiting until we can get some magic users, or potentially, I don't know if this faction has the ability to summon things, but we're going to want to gear up to take this as soon as possible. Looks like we'll have enough money to get a handful of more units. Probably want to get a little bit more front line from the looks of it. So we'll just wait here till next turn and purchase some more Zweihanders. There we go. And then we'll attack these dwarves just to ensure that we don't have to deal with them later. Hey, let's view it without spoils and see how we do. Hopefully this Delva doesn't have a good offensive attack. Okay, it's got a single target fire attack. So we're gonna lose a handful of units. So I'm pretty sure it has a lot of endurance, so that it has the ability to just chain cast. Frickin' dwarves in their heavy armor. They're not taking any damage from my crossbows. It's okay, my Zweihanders should be able to mop them up once they get in. And my arbalists are getting some, my crossbowmen are doing some decent damage to their arbalists at least. Freaking dwarves and their strong armor. Come on. Land some strikes on them. Yeah, we're gonna lose a lot of guys attacking this. Looks like their Delva's out of energy, or out of endurance though. It's not casting every round. Okay, we injured the Delva, that's good. Now, don't attack my general. I don't have another one of those, so I'm gonna have to wait or use the merchant. I don't really want to use the merchant. Yeah, we're gonna lose a majority of our front line from the looks of it. Our crossbows are somewhat focusing down the Delva. I would prefer if they were able to take out these front lines so that we can get our melee in. I also want them to get rid of that arbalist on the bottom there, just so that we're not getting peppered by its shots every once in a while. Dwarves just have, there we go, finally. Dwarves just have such good armor, it's so hard to kill them. Luckily my men are tanking their Delva's fire attacks quite well. Come on, guys. Yeah, this is gonna be a rather large loss, but at least we won't have to deal with this when it becomes more of a problem later. Jeez. Okay, yeah, we're losing a lot of crossbowmen to fire attacks. I'm annoyed that my Zweihander guy isn't moving forward. Is the injury causing him not to do that? Oh yeah, he's got battle fright. Yeah, that's fine. Kill that guy. He's kind of useless. Okay, one more hit on the Delva. Oh no, my scouts did. Okay, we got the Delva down. Just their Dwarven general left to kill. Finally, he moves forward so my other melee can get in. And he somehow survives. Well, he's not going to be that useful in battle anymore. Because he's going to hide in the back with the crossbow now that he has battle fright. Okay, we're definitely going to need a bigger army before we move out. So we'll just move back for now. Gonna have to wait a few turns just to bolster our army up. We'll get some more, oh, we can hire heavy infantry here. They're not as good, because they have slow because of how much armor, I guess, to make up for the fact that they're wearing such heavy armor and using large shields. But if we end up getting ballistas in our army, they are also slow. We can partner them with the heavy infantry, because slow makes it so that you can't use all three of your movement. It reduces your all those. If that unit's a part of the army, then they just lose one movement. So they don't move around the battle map as fast, but they are definitely stronger units. The dwarf arbalists have slow, so dwarf armies move quite slowly across the map. The big benefit of dwarves, I believe, unfortunately I don't have them to select anymore, is they have snow walk, so they don't get hampered by the snow penalty movement, and I think they also have mountain walk, so they take one less movement penalty when moving through the mountains. So that makes them quite strong. Let's get some Zweihans to bolster up our front line a bit more. We're getting 24 gold a round, which is pretty decent. We're gonna want another general at some point. We'll get him inside of a boat and go cap, or at least go scout the water. We're just gonna be patient. We got some. Do we want to get a? We're gonna want to get a general first. I think I'm gonna, instead of getting the army at the moment, we're gonna grab a general. Put him in a boat. I think the boat also is considered slow. No, it's not. Does my guy? No, he doesn't. Interesting. What about... Do these guys get any cool things? No, they don't. It'd be cool if they gave some kind of buff to ships or something. Could I build the better ships here? I have a mod that adds in faster ships. But I think only certain ports get it, or it's one of these green event-based units, so the ships don't always appear. Maybe I can't remember. It's been a while since I've held a port with the mod. But we can sail this ship around looking for any special map nodes out in the water. We're just going to be patient for a bit to get this army a little bit bigger. Especially since we're relying strictly on the unit power, or army power rather than casters, where the other factions. Yeah, I think the mod allows the boats to move 3 movement, where in the base game you only get 2. Because I was getting a little bit irritated because I was playing a faction a while ago, and I was like, why do boats move slower than armies on land? That doesn't make much sense to me. Since, you know, ships definitely move faster than people on foot. Okay, we're gonna want... Oh, I don't have enough money at the moment. We're just gonna be passing a whole bunch of turns. It looks like we have the event which fogs up the map. So it's a good thing we're not moving around, because there's a chance we could just get ambushed while we're walking around. This event is really cool for the cloud faction, because while it's cloudy, all the clouds up in the sky, let's see if we can move up. There's much more clouds up here, so it's a lot easier to navigate the sky while this event's happening. And you know, you don't get the this fog of war effect while you're up in the sky either, so. It's pretty cool when you're playing the Sky People. They're one of my more favorite factions to play in this game. Next to the Pale Ones, which I have my other video playing them. I just like the Pale Ones because they can walk in the water, as well as they start underground, which is really cool. They're the only faction that starts underground. And they can also tunnel underground once you get their economy going, and you can actually produce enough gems to summon in the tunneling worms that are good at burrowing through the dirt. And there's nodes down there that you can find in the underground, as well as you can make a full like tunnel system under Elysium. The only thing you can't do is you can't dig up, but you can go along the top side and you can dig down, so you can create additional tunnels. So you can make a whole like traversing system for traversing Elysium if you're good at kind of mapping the overworld to the underworld, which is pretty cool. I would love to play them in a multiplayer match. I'd also love to play the Cloud People in a multiplayer match, because the cool thing about the Cloud People is that it's a little bit hard to be strictly only on the clouds as the Cloud People, because there's like huge like swaths of sky that aren't any cloud, so it's really hard to find all the little cloud islands up in the sky. But when you do, and if you can find like other cloud cities, like this one's a neutral cloud city, You can make different basins all up there, and sometimes the cloud cities won't be attached to a mountain spire, so there's no way for the ground armies to come up and to assault your castles. Sometimes. Sometimes there's not access points to getting up on the scout things, so you can just have these like little sky basins up in the sky, and I always thought they would be really strong in a multiplayer match as a good, because my idea of running a fun versus match is to have 2 separate teams, 3 people on each team. And I think the cloud people would be... The cloud people, unfortunately, their regular melee units are not much more powerful than these normal human mercenaries. I think even the human mercenaries have slightly better... Well, these things don't even have armor. These things have 1 armor. I think they're comparably as strong as these guys in combat. I think they have less HP. No, they have roughly the same HP, I think. The only thing is that they have wings. And my units cost a lot of... cost a significant amount of iron, and the sky people actually need some gems to produce their units, which is the main downside to their race, is that they're going to need to control and find some mines to produce some gems so that they can actually make, or like mass produce their units, because they get a little bit of gem production because these sky palaces, let's see if this one has it. No, this one, the cloud city doesn't have it. Some of the cloud cities have gem production. But my idea of playing the cloud people is that you can fly them around on the sky and then get them to dive bomb down in cap nodes and then fly back up and hide so that roaming armies don't take them out. Makes them really good at harassing other players. Especially since they're so mobile, since they're not, because they're flying, they don't take all the penalties for movement, so they're very good at scouring the map and moving around real quick. The only problem is that their summons are pretty strong, but the problem is that their units cost gemstones to produce. I'm gonna need more front line, right? Yeah, more front line. That should be good to move these guys out. Yeah, let's move them up this way. We'll take the movement penalty and move over this way. Looks like... I think that this is just a, like, little bit of an inlet. That's what I'm thinking. Might not spend too much time on this. I just wanted to check out this new patch just to see what we have available. We got a Frostbrand. Don't have the Morit. I wish there was a tooltip for it when you purchased it. Wish the game developer would put that in, but small little gripe. Is this like a... yeah, it looks like an island just filled with undead. If I can get my main army over here, I can take the graveyard so that the undead stop spawning. And then we can get access to that coastal hamlet. Okay, we'll grab this one and then see what's here. Potentially cross over with my army. Ah, okay, this is an island in and of itself. Neat. Or not. Okay, I'm right, maybe. Maybe this is a little inlet. Has a little town, though. I'm gonna take that. Oh, weird. It's like attached to a... I thought it looked weird. It was because the fog didn't fill in. So this is attached to the main continent, I think. I was right with my initial thought that it was a little inlet. Okay, we didn't lose anybody. They didn't have that many units. I think my crossbowmen are just going to take out their crossbowmen, right? Yeah, that's what it looks like. Well, they did cause some injuries to my units, which is annoying, but what you gonna do? We don't want to accidentally get into battle with any of these dudes. So let's just move the boat out of the way for now. So we don't want to lose those guys. This is a little bit more... This is the total north side of Elysium from the looks of it. This is a little bit more annoying to hold. If this wasn't here, I'd be able to make more of a choke point right here to have my armies kind of roaming around. But it should be fine. We haven't run into any of the computers at the moment. Let's stick some more units here for now, just so I can come pick them up at some point. Oh, speak of the devil, and they have arrived. Now I have to go capture that back. Anyways, let's crossbow here. Pick up some more money. We'll just take out these boars so that they don't go capping our buildings back. It's kind of annoying because, yeah. So I'm gonna guess that he's somewhere right around here, I'm assuming. Because the computers don't travel too far away from their starting position, usually. Because they're always constantly walking back to recap things that have been taken from them. Okay. Oops. One sec. Looks my OBS went down for a second there. Just need to quickly check my browser to make sure I'm still streaming. It looks like it. Okay. I should have enough movement to get onto the island. Yeah, it looks like it. Perfect. Let's get a general. We'll get some more crossbowmen. And we'll make this, we can take this guy. And we'll just stand here because I think I should be out of vision of this guy. So this is one of the random units that can spawn in a town. I guess he's just using it to roam and scout the map. I was able to capture my stuff, but I'll use this to kill his unit, and I'll get a free item out of it. And then we can take back our nodes. Looks like he did maybe see me. I should be able to catch up to him though. There must be a human neutral civilization somewhere around here, because it looks like it's been spawning, unless they came out of this thing. That could have been the case. I could take on a right. I'm gonna have to use the boat to get them ferried back across. Alright, let's see if we can catch up to this guy. I kind of want to take him out so he's not roaming around. Okay, I can catch up and get him. Usually these are being guarded. Maybe he came through the strange portal. Okay. We're gonna station here. I might lose too many men doing this though. Let's see if... I don't know if I'll lose men doing this. I might... Does it say dying? 1 second. I think it should be fine. I was able to move on it. I don't think any of them will drown. Hopefully. Ah, they did drown. That sucks. It's been a while since I used the sea mechanics. Usually it doesn't let you do that. That's a shame. Oh well. Not going to be playing this game all the way through anyways. It's just kind of a test to see the new content. Try out this new faction. Alright, let's bring this army back to recap these things. Those armies are a little bit too big. Let's go get some more units from this place to replace my stupidity of letting my units get killed. Recap these things back. Weird that I haven't found any of the C nodes yet. There we go. Recap that back. We need more crossbowmen. No, we're good with crossbowmen. Let's get some more of those way-handers. Oh. Take these little things back from the neutrals. Let's scout up this area and see if what's his face is hanging around there. This thing gives lucky. Lucky units will evade approximately half of attacks made against them, which is pretty good. don't want to be attacked by that thing. So let's stay one space away from it, because neutrals only move one space around, usually. Let's attack this one because it's smaller. Okay, we got a ancient forest. So neutral animals spawn out of ancient forests. And I don't think you can stop them even if you do take out the units there until you burn down the tree. You can stop it if you're one of the factions that that uses the forest. There's like the druid and the trolls, and I think there's a couple other factions that use forests. The barbarians, I think, can control forests. Pretty much if you have a magic that requires that you can hold forests, then I think you can cap the tree and make it under your control so that the neutral animals don't spawn out of it anymore. But I think if you're a regular human faction, specialty... Well, that's a lot of pike dudes. That'll be definitely worth grabbing. Okay, let's see if we can find this green faction. Yeah, lost a couple guys during this battle. I think we just probably got pelted down by their crossbowmen, right? Yeah, pelted down and then hit by their front line. Okay, so we have the top of the continent here. Jeez, there's a lot of sea monsters here. It's so weird that I haven't seen a one of the sea nodes. Be funny if there's just like a bunch of them right here that I missed. My army's not really big enough to take on that many deer. Let's get some crossbowmen. Circle around and grab those guys on the way. Oh, there's the yellow faction. But that is not the green faction. Is this the, No, these are the enchanters, aren't they? No, this is the senator. Interesting. Okay. His army's small. The big problem is he is a caster. That's a decent magic item, though. Mirror images is a strong effect to have. This is one of the special casters you get through mercenary stuff, so they're not as strong as the faction casters. There's an ancient temple with a hydra in it. And a little fort. No, that's too many boars. Okay. Can you only put the... Because I can upgrade this to a mage's guild, right? Yeah, this allows me to promote wizards. I wonder if this will give me a library. Because it says it adds an additional library. But I wonder if it adds a library to the settlement. Let's see if it does. Yes, it does. Okay, so there's a single library here. Cool. Oops. Did I not move my boat and the fish got him? That sucks. Whatever. That should be... I should have a large enough force to deal with that. I don't think these, well, they're a little bit more tanky. But their archers, I don't think, hit as hard to armor. And I don't think the metal caster is going to do much, so we'll take on their army. Okay, cool, there's a town here. Alright, let's not spoil and see how this goes. Yeah, crossbow are definitely better at pinning through armor, even though armor is definitely good against them. And it looks like this caster, let me see, can I see his spells? Yeah, he's only got Iron Skin and Luck. He doesn't have any offensive magic. My Zweihanders, though, will take a little bit of a beating, should be able to easily rip through their front line and get this dealt with quite easily. Because I believe the sweep effect on the sword means that when it strikes all nearby enemies as well. Pike guys can attack from 1 square away though, so they can be a pretty good front line in comparison. It's gonna take a while to beat down this caster because he's got the armor on, and the mirror image thing. But now I have the mirror image thing. Okay, I got a scout. I will put that over here so we can add that to this army. Now we'll move these guys back to collect the additional forces because we lost a couple. Make that army a little bit bigger. All of these are being guarded significantly well by the neutrals. I'm gonna guess the yellow guy is somewhere around here. It might not be in my capability to hold these buildings, because battling with 2 of the enemy factions at the same time is not always the best. We want to kind of like, I think we want to take this area over. Assuming that the green faction is around here or around here somewhere. He did go down into the forest, so I'm going to assume he came from somewhere in this region. I was correct. There is oh, I stepped on this. I didn't even notice. It looks like he is down in this region. Okay. Cool. I don't really like having the mirror image effect on a melee, but I don't have any casters, so I don't have much of an option. But now that we have the Sages Guild built, or the Mages Guild built, we have a chance of getting some of the neutral casters now. I wonder what happens when you promote him. Do we have enough gems? Yeah, we have enough gems. Do we have enough money? Yeah, no, we don't quite have enough money. I want to see what happens when you promote this guy to his 3rd tier before we end the stream, and so that I can get a kind of better purview of what the merchants are all about. Looks like they're just a neutral faction, or a neutral human faction that focuses mostly on mercenary units. So they're going to want stuff like these towns and ports are good because trade value and whatnot. Looks like they also want to try to find libraries on the map so that they can promote, or so that they can get more or any buildings with libraries attached to them, so that they can get the neutral casters. And the cool thing about them being able to promote a building's libraries by 1 is pretty nice, which allows you to purchase more spells for the spell list out of the place. So if you get a tier 3 neutral wizard, you'd be able to train them using money to get higher tier castable spells in combat. Oh jeez. Where'd it land? Oh, it landed right over here. Well, I want to stop that thing from capping, and then I can go get that meteor. You have to be careful with meteors, because meteors are coming from outer space, which is where the Cthulhu creatures are. Oh, jeez. Well, that's definitely not worth trying to get. These things are really hard to fight, as well as it's in an abandoned mine, which doesn't produce as much as a normal mine. It's one of those things that, like, if you have the resources to dump into actually grabbing, it's not too bad, but like, it won't be bad over time. It's just the upfront cost of trying to attack them is a little bit harder, because I think these things are a bit stronger than the regular. Yeah, they have more HP. Yeah, this thing has like much more higher initiation. Now, these things are already difficult enough to deal with. Right, I'm gonna try promoting this guy. See what happens when you get him to rank 3. Arcane's Guild. The Merchant Prince upgrades the Mage's Guild into an Arcane Guild. The chance of recruiting powerful mages is increased, and the Arcane Guild retains all features of the Mage Guild. Okay, cool. So they don't learn any additional... Doesn't look like they learn any additional rituals. So they pretty much just learn these. So yeah, they're pretty much just a neutral based faction. And it looks like they're more focused on getting neutral casters. Where the other more neutral factions like the Senator that we ran into this game and the Baron, they have national units, and I believe they have their own unique casters that do specific things. There's also the religious human races. I haven't fully done a playthrough of the the death cult ones, but I did the one that is like the major race, and they're kind of interesting. I did a full playthrough of them. They can summon in the 4 horsemen, though you don't really want to do that because it's detrimental to yourself as well, but they can summon them into Elysium, and the 4 horsemen are incredibly dangerous, and they roam around the map and destroy shit. But they're kind of cool. I finished doing their whole thing, and then frickin' what's it called? I keep thinking of the the version of it from Norse mythology, Ragnarok, but like what's the Christian equivalent of that? That's the God, what is it called? The end of days, where hell and heaven come to earth and do a final like giant battle on it. I don't know, it'll come to me at some point, probably after I'm done doing this video. But you get the idea of Armageddon, I think, maybe? I think that might be it? I don't know. Do they gain spellcasting? No, they don't. Okay, so yeah, these merchants pretty much are just meant to go into, you shouldn't be using them in combat, you should just be using them to, go into cities and, yeah, there's already some ghosts here. Should be using them to, there's a chance of space creatures from outer space taking and controlling that over the course of the game. So they can be useful to grab because they produce a lot of gems. This time it's 3 and 1, but it can be a bunch of it's randomized about what type of gems are produced out of it. But they're good to hold, but you have to be careful. You won't always guaranteed hold them forever, because eventually, I think almost in every playthrough I've seen, space creatures will take control of it at some point. Oh geez, that looks like a pretty intimidating army. Oh, maybe it's just the Golden Dawn caster that's a little bit intimidating. It's level 2. Since we don't have any casters and it has items, though those aren't the best items, it has a pretty decent front line. If it has an offensive spell, which I'm not sure if it does, that could be an issue. That's a random neutral troll just roaming around. There's nothing more over here. I wonder if the green faction must have just came down here. Either the green faction came out of the portal, scouted around, or the green faction must be somewhere like right here. But anyways, I've kind of did what I wanted to do. If I was going to continue this game, which I'm probably not, because I was just kind of checking out the Merchants Guild faction they added to the game in this new patch. I would definitely take this white tower and try to hold this little conclave and just hope that they don't try to travel through the forest, because this would be a little bit easier to defend. This is going to be harder to hold if units keep trying to walk around this way, and if they definitely come up around here. But the whole idea would be to try to control these two cities, and then eventually try to move out and take control of this, and then have a much more wider border line. And then eventually try to push out and grab this library, because it looks like my faction really wants to control the libraries. But then we also have to deal with this portal, because this portal teleports to somewhere else on Elysium somewhere else. So we'd always have to have our armies kind of roaming around in this general vicinity. That's why I'm saying that it'd be a lot harder to hold up this. This we don't have to worry about too much, except this crab's probably going to neutral cap things back. Just because the computers don't tend to try to travel out to the islands unless they have access to boats. But anyways, anyone who watches to the end, thank you.